welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, which you probably are, hello, my name is Kat. I currently live in South Korea and I recently decided to restart a booktube channel. But I also have a daily life slash random shenanigans channel. If you want to check that out, I'll link it down below. But anyways, welcome to my booktube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my small collection of books that I have here with me in Korea that I have brought with me from back home in the States, or things that I have bought while living here over the past year and a half. And also I'm going to talk about how I usually read the majority of my books while living abroad or traveling abroad, etc. I obviously cannot have a bunch of books while living abroad because I'm living in a country that I don't know how long I'll be here for, but it won't be for a long time. So obviously I don't want to collect a lot of items, especially books, because they're heavy and I don't want to have to like travel or carry them around with me. So I have a very small collection here with me. Like looking at them right now, I think there's only maybe like 3 books that I actually brought with me from the States, and the rest are items that I have picked up while living here. Starting off with the books that I actually brought with me from back in the States to Korea. So I only have 2 books that I actually brought with me from the States, and the first one is Orin Wangja, which is a Korean book, and I actually bought this the very first time I was in Korea back in 2016, summer of 2016. I did like a study abroad summer program. We went to a bookstore and I ended up buying this very small book, and basically this is the Korean translated book of The Little Prince, which I have never read. I've never read the English translation of it, and I also haven't read the Korean translation. I mainly picked this up because of the illustrations. You can see I just really love her illustrations. They're just so beautiful, and I really like it. I don't think my Korean is level enough to read this. I probably could maybe read like a chapter a day because they're very short, like 2 or 3 pages, and I could easily probably do that, but seems very daunting to me. So I like to flip through it and look at the illustrations, but one day I will actually sit down and read it. Yes, this is the first book I have. The next book and the last book that I actually brought with me from the States is one that I'm currently reading right now, and it's called The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment by Eckhart Tolle. I think that's how you say his name. Not entirely sure. But this is actually quite a popular book. I've seen a few people reading. I have a few friends that have read it. I am slowly making my way through it. I'm only on page 40, and I've been reading it for like the past month, but I've also been reading other things. I read a bit of it and then I will set it down and read something else. And then I'll come back and read a bit of it and set it down and read something else. So I haven't gone through this. That is another book that I have. Okay, now I'm just going to go through the books that I have collected since coming to Korea. So one of the ones that I bought is Kim Jiyoung, born 1982, by Choi Namju. And this is a very popular book that I've seen many people talk about. So this is a Korean lit book that follows a very average woman named Kim Jiyoung from Korea in 1982, and I've heard a lot of buzz surrounding this book, so I'm intrigued to finish it. Another Korean lit book that I have is The Island of Sea Women by Lisa C, and this actually is quite a chunky book. On Jeju-do, or on Jeju Island in Korea, there are these sea women, more middle-aged, slightly older women who are like sea divers. You can usually see them if you go to Jeju-do, or if you are just along the coast of Korea, you can usually see some of them, and it's just a very fascinating part of Korean culture and history that I want to learn more about. So yeah, I'm excited to learn more about this. I believe you actually follow some of the women. Yeah, set on the island of Jeju, the island of the sea women, follows Mija and Young-suk, two girls from very different backgrounds, as they begin working in the sea with their village's all-female diving collective. And then the next book, actually my school gave me, and it's another Korean lit book, and it's called Please Look After Mom by Kyung-suk Shin, or Shin Kyung-suk. I don't really know much about this. I just remember sometime like a few months ago, we walked into the office and everybody on their desk had this book, like a copy of this book. When 69-year-old So-nyo is separated from her husband among the crowds in a Seoul subway station, her family begins a desperate search to find her, yet as long-held secrets and private sorrows begin to reveal themselves, they are forced to wonder how well did they actually know the woman they called mom. Okay, so it's again more of a family-orientated Korean story set in Seoul, told from multiple perspectives. Interesting. I'm actually quite interested in reading that. So I'll probably give that a go sometime. Also, if you're catching a theme here, none of these books that I actually own physical copies for have I finished reading or completely read, except for one, which I will show you right now. And it's actually not my own book. I'm just kind of borrowing it from my school. And it's The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Very well known, very highly acclaimed, has a movie adaptation. I actually read this in high school, so I have read this, and I was like, you know what, I could give this another reread, so I took it. And then the next book, a recent purchase, and it is called Eating Animals by Jonathan Safran Foer. I think I really butchered that one. Eating Animals. It's called Eating Animals. I've recently been watching a lot of documentaries that are all about wildlife, nature, and also about veganism and like just sustainability and climate change and all of that kind of stuff. I've been doing more research and stuff on that, and this is a book that really piqued my interest. So anyways, yeah, I bought this book. It's a very chunky book as well, so it'll take me a while to get through that one. A next book I also recently bought was Normal People by Sally Rooney. So this again is another well-acclaimed book, and I actually watched the adaptation, the Irish TV show last year. Quite enjoyed it, and so I decided to give the actual novel a go. I haven't read anything from Sally Rooney. Give that one a go. And the last book that I have on my shelf, my most recent purchase, and it is The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down by Haemin Soo-nim. And this again is by a Korean author. It's a Korean lit. I can't remember where I saw this book. Somebody recommended it and I was really into what they were recommending, and then I looked this up and I thought it would be very fascinating. It's a collection of like poetry and prose, that kind of stuff, and it again is another kind of like more spiritual book, not getting so stressed out by life and stuff. How to be calm in a busy world. It literally says it right there. So these are all the books that I own. As you can see, a majority of them are Korean lit. Now moving on to how I actually read. So obviously, like I said, I can't read physical copies of a lot of books. So the majority of the books that I read while I am living in Korea are actually ebooks or Kindle books, online books. So I use my phone or sometimes my laptop, my computer, and then I also mainly will use my iPad. So I use my iPad to read the majority of my books. So I highly recommend, if you are into reading ebooks and stuff and you don't want to get like physical copies of books, and you're also like traveling or not living in a permanent area, I would definitely recommend getting a ebook, like a library card with your local library or a library in wherever you're from, basically. And then you can access their ebook collection. And so I have a library card with my library back in the States. The app that I use to access my library ebook collection is called Overdrive. And as you can see right there, it says North Carolina Digital Library. So I'm from North Carolina currently, so I have a library card with them. So I just click on that and then I can access their entire ebook collection. So that is how I read the majority of my books here in Korea. So that's it for this video, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.